News.
You may have seen her incredible videos on LinkedIn and probably some of the other platforms. She is on the other side of the world, but on the same side as me and probably all of you when it comes to her love of helping people find a great night's sleep. Aimee Griffiths, the founder and director of Rise Lifestyle Company, is here from Australia, and the FAM podcast starts right now. Are you ready to experience the future of mattress retail and sleep? Traditional conferences are for consumption. Summits unlock solutions. Introducing Sleep Summit 2024, a power-packed experience that will revolutionize how you think about the mattress industry. For 3 electrifying days, October 8th through the 11th, visionaries and trailblazers will descend upon Bentonville, Arkansas. At Sleep Summit 2024, you won't be a spectator, you'll be an active participant rolling up your sleeves with industry leaders to co-create the future through dynamic workshops, cutting-edge talks, and collaborative think tanks. The future of mattress retail belongs to the bold, the innovative, and the actively engaged. Secure your ticket today at sleepsummit.thefam.com. That's sleepsummit.thefam.com, and we'll see you at Sleep Summit 2024.
Welcome to the FAM podcast with Mark Kinsley. This is where the best in the betting business get even better.
Right now. Welcome to the FAM podcast. I'm your host, Mark Kinsley. So excited to have my friend from afar that we've chatted on LinkedIn. We've thumbs up each other's videos for a long time. And I love the message and I love hearing that this newly minted entrepreneur has her own business. Aimee Griffiths, thank you so much for being here, Aimee. It's great to see you.
Oh, what a great introduction. Thank you, Mark. It's really nice to be here. And look, I've been a fan of the FAM podcast. You know, I've been listening for a while and obviously watching what you're doing over on LinkedIn too. So it's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, it truly is my pleasure. I love all the videos you make and the inspiration that you spread and the positivity. Every time I look at you, I'm like, Aimee is in on a joke that she's about to laugh about because you always have this wonderful smile on your face and you're so happy and positive and you're encouraging people. And even when you're talking about a topic that might, be something that you're really passionate about, you're always just bringing all the light and the love that you can to each and every moment. You can see that it comes through on camera. So thanks for all that you're doing. Now, first of all, before we dive into your story, which I think is incredible, with Rise Lifestyle Company, your new company. You're located in Australia and you're located near the Australian Zoo, which is really famous because there's a guy that a lot of people know and his family that are from there. Tell us about where you live.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I live in the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. It's a small little coastal town. And yes, God bless Steve Irwin that was here and passed a few years ago, started Australia Zoo here. So where people like to come for holiday, there's great beaches and Australia Zoo and pretty much anything you want to do is here in the Sunshine Coast.
And the kids don't wear shoes very often, from what I understand?
No, generally not. They're generally going from school to the beach or, the park or whatever. So it's a very kind of casual, laid back vibe we have in the Sunshine Coast.
Well, if the wind's not blowing too much, we would love to see in the background of some of your LinkedIn videos what's actually happening on the beach. I mean, I think that's going to be some good texture. I'm making a request right now.
I can do that. That's a good excuse for me to go to the beach in the middle of the day. I like it.
And you could be like, it was a request from one of my fans on the FAM podcast.
Gotta do it.
Sorry, you got to do it. I got to give the people what they want. So you have recently started the Rise Lifestyle Company. We'll get to that, but tell us your backstory because you've been in the sleep industry for a while.
It's all I know, and to be honest, I'm not very good at anything else. It's actually in my blood. My parents were franchisee of a furniture and bedding business in a small town called Bundaberg where I grew up. And, I was in my school uniform on school holidays and after school, helping them out with stock take and everything else. And then when I went to study, I was working part-time in furniture and bedding. And then I moved to Sydney. And again, I worked in a store. I got offered a great opportunity, which was as a retail sales associate in the biggest, most beautiful furniture and bedding store in Australia. It was called Domain. and it is an $80 million store in Sydney. And so I had the opportunity to work with one of the best retailers in the business and learn from him. And because I was working there, a lot of the CEOs and business owners from the manufacturers would often come in. So my favorite company manufacturer that was a supplier for us was called AH Beard. So at the time I decided, do you know the Beard family?
I know Alan. Yeah.
You know Alan. Everyone knows Alan, right? And they're the kindest people. So I decided then and there that I wanted to work with the Beard family. So look, here I am at 22 years old. I think I must have been, and I called the AH Beard office and I asked to speak to Alan Beard, who is the owner of Beard. You got to shoot your shot, right? And I said, I want to work for you. Is there, do you have any jobs? Can I work for you? And so he said no, they didn't have anything at the time. And then 6 months later, he offered me a junior Rex role with AH Beard. And I started, 11 and a half years with the Beard family, who I owe dearly for everything they did for me. And then part of that, I was actually managing and national trainer for the Sleep Number category. So they had the Sleep Number license in Australia and New Zealand. So I traveled around Australia and New Zealand training, a 5-day training program for Sleep Number, and then also managed the category after that. So 11 and a half years with them. And then I was with the Motion for the last 5.5 years, which was incredible. I got to travel through Asia Pacific, see the different technologies, meet the different retailers and distributors, really understand what sleep and the bedding industry is like in all of those different areas, which is such an incredible experience. It was like eyes wide open the whole time and learning and taking it all in.
And then, so that's led to gathering up all these inputs and all this experience and all these ideas. And how did that come together to form your new company? And what are you doing with your new company?
That's a great question. So, Rise Lifestyle Crew was born. I'm really myself into health and fitness, and wellness, and obviously sleep. When I was looking after the Sleep Number category, I started learning about sleep science. So that's, almost 20 years ago. And I have been obsessed with sleep wellness since then. I learn about it every day. It's something that's so important for me and helping others build purpose in what they do. So Rise Lifestyle Co. was born from that love for that, but also traveling and seeing the different products that are in the different markets through Asia Pacific. And some of those products were stuck in a country where, they were doing great in that country, but there was so much opportunity outside of there. You could see where those products could sit in other areas and other markets. So also being able to connect the manufacturers directly with retailers and distributors in other countries and focusing in on home wellness. Wellness is a growing, booming $6 trillion industry worldwide. And sleep is the second biggest category for that. So it's connecting what we're doing now in the bedding and furniture category with home wellness products.
And I think you told me this at one point. Sleep is the second category, only behind health, which seems like that's just a big umbrella. But whenever you start to segment it out, it shows you the importance of sleep. So I got to go back to what you said about some of the products you saw that were contained within certain countries. In your journeys, in your travels, is there anything that stands out as a product that sort of caught your attention, or maybe it was quirky or off the beaten path, or maybe something that was very well established that was underrepresented in other countries that you wanted to see get outside those borders?
Wow, that's a great question. I think the first one was massage chairs that don't look like the big bulky massage chairs. So through Asia, massage chairs are really popular. The recovery, the rest, everyone works really hard throughout the day. They want to come home and just have a massage where it's not kind of readily available. So massage chairs are huge through particularly like Malaysia, Japan, Singapore. But people are really starting to grab onto, they've worked hard all day, they deserve that rest, but they don't want a big, bulky looking massage chair in their home. It needs to look more like a piece of furniture. So, that was one of them. We've got some beautiful massage chairs that look like a piece of furniture. And let me tell you, if you have people shopping for beds, it's generally the last thing they want to do, right? They're not there by choice. It's because they need to buy a new bed. If you can have a massage chair on your retail floor and give someone 5 minutes to just relax and enjoy that experience as well, as while they're in your showroom, it's a great opportunity to, maybe they might not buy the massage chair today, but it's there and they might come back. Rather than waiting 8 years to buy another bed, they might come back in 2, 3, 4 years and buy a massage chair instead.
I love it too. I mean, if it was part of like, if I'm running a sleep shop and I'm getting some of these, adjacent categories merchandise to my store, I would make that part of my process. I'll say, hey, as part of our process, sit down for 5 minutes in this chair. And because we want you to get your muscles loosened up a little bit, because when you get in bed at night, you're going to have that exhale, hopefully of relief, and you're going to start to unwind, and you're going to take, 20, 30 minutes to actually fall asleep, hopefully. And so this is our process to help you sort of get more to that state so you can try mattresses with muscle tension reduced and hopefully find the one that's perfect for you. And then, like you said, wink, wink, nod, nod, you're selling some massage chairs along the way. I love that.
Absolutely. I like that because when we sleep, our muscles are relaxed, right? That's, and to a point where in REM sleep, they're totally paralyzed. So that's a really good process. I like it.
Okay, so we're onto something here. We're getting some ideas out now. Okay, so real quickly though, I don't think I've personally seen these type of massage chairs, and I know I'm saying it incorrectly. Massage.
It's probably my access.
I'm going to say, like you say it, massage chairs that don't look big and bulky. So this is a thing.
Absolutely is. Yeah, there's some beautiful, and they look like a piece of furniture, which makes a huge difference. It's smaller, so for people in apartments, they can sit a little bit easier and get in the elevator in and out. So yeah, and they
Who
work
makes
just
them?
as well.
Can you tell me the brand?
We have, so there's Seragem, which you may have heard of out of Korea, and there's also, we've got a white label product as well that is OEM available that's very similar.
I love that. It sort of reminds me, I was at Leggett & Platt for years, and I was mainly on the bedding side, but I was responsible for our creative agency, which we had like 40 people just working on Leggett stuff on the creative side. And every once in a while, we would get projects related to high leg recliners. And essentially it was like, they called them the Bubba recliners, which are the big and bulky and padded recliners. And a lot of people were like, no, I don't want that in my house. So they sort of invented this high leg recliner that looked like a piece of furniture. So naturally, that seems like it would extend over to the massage chair category. And my gosh, what a great way to sort of, like you said, tap into holistic home wellness. Now, let's go to that term for a minute. Well, is home wellness like a well-established, known category? And if so, like, what does it include? What falls under that category?
That's a really good question too. I don't know if it's well established, but it's kind of the category that I had really put my company into. It's like, how do we bring the two together? It's a huge thing. It's starting in America and it's really growing in Australia now, where people will go to a wellness and recovery center. So they've got, the hot and cold pools, the all the recovery things that people actually want to bring into their home now, saunas and that kind of thing. So look, and lighting, like circadian timed lighting. Eventually, I would love, my company to grow into more of those things as well. So even as far as lighting and saunas, right now we have lifestyle bases in home wellness. So obviously adjustable lifestyle bases, which is what I'm, had most of my experience in. We have amazing, high, beautiful sleep masks and travel masks and meditation, relaxation, massage chairs. It's really anything that's going to give you rest, recovery, rejuvenation. People are looking for something that's more than just an aesthetic now. It has to have the aesthetic as well. We can't discount the aesthetic of a wellness product. So it still needs to look good if it's going to be in their home, because if something looks good, it makes you feel good. But really having that purpose of being able to rejuvenate and recover and have more energy at home, which is where Rise came from. I want, our clients and consumers to be able to rise and wake up with as much energy as they need to be able to be their best selves for the day.
I feel like I should point something out too. Anybody that, and I learned this from Todd and Tara Youngblood, who were the founders of ChiliPad, and they've done a bunch of different startups in the sleep space, amazingly successful entrepreneurs. Tara, who spoke at Sleep Summit last year, has been the sleep coach for the Cincinnati Reds professional baseball team and 65 other athletes. And she mentioned, and Todd mentioned, when you look at sleep science as a discipline from an academic perspective, Australia and Japan tend to churn out some of the best, most innovative, most cutting edge research. So I feel like, Aimee, you are in the middle of where sleep science is sort of developing in a way that I don't even think people here in the mainland can wrap their heads around. Do you feel that presence of sleep science kind of permeating throughout your little slice of the world here as you're building this company? Do you feel like it is more cutting edge?
Yeah, look, we're really fortunate in Australia that a lot of the universities are focused on sleep science. Look, if you're interested, Dr. Michael Gradazer, who is based out of Adelaide, Australia, has done some amazing research around blue light, using phones in bed. And if you follow him on either LinkedIn or anywhere else, he's very realistic when it comes to the research. It's the results are what you probably would not think. So he's been cited by Huberman and Dr. Matthew Walker as well. So he's got some great research. So there is awesome research coming out of Australia. Japan is very well known for their research, but there's a lot of research coming out of everywhere. And I think probably even 6 years ago, I signed up for Google Alerts. So if you're really interested in sleep science and seeing the latest cutting edge of research and what's coming out, sign up for Google Alerts for sleep. You'll get sent through anything that's released, and it's such an easy way to keep on top of any of the new research that's coming out.
I sort of have a beef I want to get your thoughts on with research. And here it is. So I was talking the other day to a gentleman that used to be the head of the sleep product development department at Apple. And we were talking about coming to Sleep Summit, and we were going through sort of the rigor that goes along with his field of work in relation to trying to figure out, what is interesting for sleep scientists to study, what is meaningful from a product development standpoint, what are the problems they're trying to solve that a product that gets developed can solve, what they should and shouldn't do, whenever it comes to Apple Watches or iPhones or whatever it might be, whatever this device might be. And we got into this idea. I'm like, well, from your chair, how much sleep research do you see around the mattress? He's like, basically none. Like they're interested in light and temperature and sound. They're not so much interested in the mattress. And then we got into this little piece of the conversation about why that is, because it's the object on which you spend more time in your life than any other object. And then secondarily, it's the nature of how the data is being gathered. Because if you look at these sleep science reports, most of them in the US at least, where are they done? At universities. So who are the subjects of the studies? Students. Where can students sleep? Almost anywhere. Like, what about the people like let's start bringing up people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and then we're going to talk about like what we really need to be studying here. So that's my beef. I just wanted to air it.
I like it. And look, I really enjoyed your podcast with Sleep School Labs. You had a gentleman,
Dr. Ellie Gottlieb. Yes.
Yes, I really enjoyed that, because absolutely we should be, and how powerful would some of the marketing information be if we did more research on mattress and even adjustable lifestyle bases? Like the fact that we know that when you raise the head, it actually opens up the airways, or, we know 0G is more comfortable, but where's the research to show that you actually do sleep better in there? If someone had that research, I mean, it would be a gold mine to be able to use that to say, we can show that you sleep better in 0G and it's more, you get deeper sleep or you get more REM sleep, whatever it is.
So
You're right.
interestingly enough, that is one of the behind the scenes conversations that I had with Colin Lawler, who is the CEO of Sleep Score Labs. And Colin is going to be one of our speakers on the main stage at Sleep Summit. By the way, plug. If you're not signed up, go to thefam.com, find the links. Sleepsummit.thefam.com is straight there. I want you to be there because Colin it's pretty mind blowing what he talks about. But one of his goals with Sleep Score Labs is to create an evidence-based selling environment. So that just like what you described, Aimee, hey, let's actually put some legitimate studies around, get all the controls and isolate the variables and get the right participants, get a good sample size, and then bring in the ingestible base and raise the head. And let's look at what's happening to somebody's airways. I think that is such a huge opportunity because years ago, I was asked the question, who owns sleep? I did a big Google keyword research project, found out who owns sleep? Problems. Problems own sleep. So who's going to own the problems? Well, right now, the pill companies want to, but I think the sleep products have a huge place in this.
Yeah. If we can help people understand how they can sleep better without, like you said, without pills and all of those things, in a really basic thing, like you said, lighting, being able to adjust the comfort of your sleep and adjust your open up the airways. There are 60% of people. So still at Sleep Survey, they did research through Asia Pacific, and it was almost 60% of people reported that their sleep was affected by either themselves snoring, their partner snoring, or sleep apnea. So that's a really hot topic too, as obviously the snoring side of things has always been a hot topic. But if you can show in data and research that a product helps to open up the airway and reduce snoring, then it's really powerful.
I'm gonna please verify this for me, listeners, fam. Okay, I heard a stat that 80% of people in the US who have sleep apnea are undiagnosed. All right. And I'll tell you, you can look at somebody and say, do they if I don't want you to grab a tape measure and wrap it around somebody's neck, but if they have a 17-inch neck or above, your odds of having sleep apnea go through the roof. And so when you're in a country, we're talking about home wellness, we're talking about wellness, we're talking about sleep. Well, we're not necessarily trending in the best direction here domestically in the US. We have a lot of people that are obese. So if you're trying to solve those problems, and they have a 17-inch neck or above, the odds of them having sleep apnea and being undiagnosed are really, really high. My dream, and I think we're nudging this forward, is that we can be sleep guides at retail. And we're not there to diagnose. We're not there to prescribe. But if we can give people resources like that, not only from an adjustable base perspective, but hey, you should go get diagnosed because we want you to be healthy. I think it's a huge opportunity for us to change trajectory for so many more people than we do today.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's such an important, if you have mild sleep apnea, I was listening to a course the other day. If you have mild sleep apnea, that means you stop breathing for anywhere up to 30 to 60 seconds, up to 5 times an hour. That is mild sleep apnea, which is incredible. You think if you stopped breathing while you were awake for that long, and literally you could not do it if you tried to stop breathing. You could not get your blood oxygen levels that low if you tried to stop breathing awake for that long. And that's what's considered mild sleep apnea. So how impactful that must be, not just on our sleep overall, but on our waking lives. And there's home tests now for sleep apnea. So, it would be great to see in bedding retailers where customers, this is where we start to have conversations about sleep. And like you said, we're not here to diagnose, we're here to guide and just help where we can and suggest they get tested for sleep apnea. But there's home tests and we have those available.
It was one of the most arresting things I've ever seen inside of a mattress store. You've probably seen Matt Smith with Snooze Mattress Company on LinkedIn. He's got himself a fancy new truck. You have to check it out. But Matt, I went into his flagship store in Pueblo, Colorado. And the first thing I noticed wasn't all the mattresses. It wasn't the beautiful store. It was the foam heads behind the desk with sleep apnea masks on them. There were 4 of them. And they started selling like replenishment supplies. And then they had a way for people to get plugged in and get diagnosed with sleep apnea. I thought it was brilliant because you're right. Snoring, partner disturbance. It's just such a big problem. So I think we in this world, especially when you get down to the retail level, need to be thinking about like, what are the actual problems and how can we help solve them? And slinging a white rectangle, you can find a mattress anywhere, but we need to be in the problem solving business. Okay, I got a question for you. Speaking of being in the problem solving business, what do you think are the problems that you're going to be able to help people solve with your new company? Like, because I'm really excited about thinking, what's out there that I don't know about that Aimee knows about that we should be telling the world about?
So that's a great question. I think some of the biggest things is, and I'm really selective with the manufacturers that I work with. One, it has to be really high quality, but 2, it has to give the user something. So I'm working with a company called Sleep Tight. They are developing some incredible high-low bases, but really it was made for the aged care and home care industry. The way it's been designed was with occupational therapists in mind. So for, people aren't going into hospital now. They don't want to be in hospital or in aged care. They want to, thrive at home. And so they've got some incredible products and more in development. We're developing some more products as well. So it's really, they have to be able to offer something special that is wellness. And I guess the key thing is feeling someone like the Aura Circle sleep mask that I'm working with. It gives someone back control of their sleep. Most of the time people feel out of control of their sleep. We can't do anything about it while we're doing it, like while we're trying to sleep, because we're generally unconscious. But how do we, help them fall asleep faster or sleep better for the time that they're asleep, or have some form of recovery and wellness in their waking life that helps them, live better through wellness, whether it be sleep wellness or recovery.
I'm going to tell you something really sad and also awesome about sleep masks. Number one, I'm a huge fan. I wear a sleep mask a lot. It took me a while to get used to it, but now I take it with me when I travel, and it gives me a signal of something from home, because it's like, oh, that's what I do when this is signaling to me it's time to go to sleep. The sad thing, the number one video I've ever posted on YouTube for the fam was a sleep mask review for the Manta sleep mask. It's great. I liked it a lot. But I'm like, so clearly people are searching. I say that people are searching for products to help solve these problems. I'm shocked they're searching for that more than a podcast about the mattress industry, but so it is. It's okay.
Not bed or anything like that, right? It's sleep masks are really popular. I feel like, and the guys at Aura Circle have done an incredible job. We have to make sure we get you one of these.
Can I see it? Can you hold it up? I want to see it if you're watching on YouTube. It really is beautiful.
It's got this beautiful cushion, like that's removable to give you full blackout. It has light therapy. So it's got a beautiful red light glow. It has sound therapy. It's so flexible. So you can choose they've got sleep meditations, you personalize it. And it even has that. Like it's a really, I've not seen anything like it in market.
I like it. How do you spell it?
It's AURA-circle.
Aura Circle. Okay, great. Listen to Aimee, not me saying massage chairs. Okay.
If you want the ultimate, and do you know what I keep telling them? This is not a sleep mask. This is a relaxation and meditation experience. So it's something very different from just a standard sleep mask.
There you go. Yeah, you got to make the conversation about what it is and the benefits of what it is. Like not a sleep mask. I like that. It's an experience. So okay. You've seen a lot of, the Pacific Rim, Southeast Asia, Australia. You've traveled around the world. Over the years, is there anything that you've changed your mind about? Whether it's in this space or in business or in life, is there anything you've changed your mind about?
That's a great question. I think, while people are people, and I always say that people are people, and you always act with kindness and treat them, with respect. Culturally, there are different, needs through Asia Pacific. Even Japan sleeps very differently to how Australia sleeps. and even in what they look for in a product. Like in Japan, if something is the number one in the world, or, it has high ratings, that's what they like to see. It's the number one in the world. And obviously they sleep on very low, hard, firm products. In Korea, if it is trendy or fashionable and seen as quite premium, it can go through a trend like, K-pop. And so they're really into trends and brand. Um, and, so everyone does sleep really differently. Vietnam, in Vietnam, there's still a lot of beds that are the compounded cotton. So everyone's sleeping differently around the world. And yes, there are different needs. So I think, people are people, and we always, treat them with respect and kindness, but really trying to understand and learn about different cultures when you go somewhere and how they sleep, and speaking to the retail sales associates in stores. That is like the best learning that you can ever get. I always say the most important person in the room is that person who connects with your consumer, which is generally the retail sales associate and even the delivery drivers, because they have that last connection. So I would just say, don't have any preconceptions. That's probably changed my mind. You can have preconceptions about something, but really learning and taking in what every, different people, this can go between different states. In Australia, in Hobart, which is right down the bottom of Australia, in Tasmania, they don't call air conditioners. They call it a heat pump because they never use it for cooling because it's always so cold down there. It's general. So, everything is different no matter where you travel. So I would always say, yeah, I've learned to be really open and learn about whether it's culture, products, anything.
I love that. So by the way, I had to replace a heat pump at a rental house, and they kept calling it a heat pump. And I'm like, does it do air conditioning? Am I just buying the one thing? Why are you calling it that? It's like, so anyway, yeah, I relate to Tasmania. Maybe I need to, they're my people. So one thing you said, I love that you've traveled the world and you're open to those experiences and just observing and seeing, what sleep means to someone, what a mattress means to someone. I've had similar experiences where I went to India and did a bunch of videos about it and posted them on LinkedIn. And along the way, it was so fun to see that luxury sleep in India meant sort of I've made it. It's a developing nation, so there's a growing swath of people that have some wealth. And a mattress was one of those purchases that said to themselves, like, I've made it. I deserve better sleep. And then on the night of a couple's wedding, it's tradition to give them a new mattress. So I got to go along on a delivery to deliver this new mattress. And then they invited me to the wedding, which is so sweet. And I had just this magical experience. But sleep, also meant sort of like from a mattress standpoint, 30+% of people still sleep on like cotton batting on the floor in India. So what something means culturally. And then also families in India gather on the mattress, and it's sort of in at the center of their lives. They play games, they eat dinner, they watch TV all together, like on the mattress. And so anyway, I love going out and like having those same types of experiences, but also there's just that common denominator that, hey, we all have this in common. We all sleep.
We do. That is the one thing. The world needs sleep, and we will always need sleep, as humans. I actually love that you mentioned that. I mean, it sounds like India knows what's going on if they, take good sleep as being, I've made it. In Korea, because there's not a lot of space, and a lot of people live in high rise, in the cities, they have what's called the family bed. And it's a really common thing, right? In the one bedroom, it's two large beds put together and the family sleeps all in the one thing. It's just, I kind of like that idea. I think that's, really great. But the different ways that people sleep and the families gathering on the bed. I mean, that's something special as well, isn't it?
And so many people like even here in the United States, like I have friends that like all the kids still sleep in bed and all the dogs sleep in the bedroom. And then throughout the night. You know, the kids end up in the giant dog beds down on the floor. It's like sleep is this like this dynamic all night experience with all these moving parts. But hopefully everybody wakes up at the end of the day and they're fully rested. And if not, we have people like Aimee that are out there on a mission to help connect amazing products to amazing companies and retailers and people. And Aimee, thank you. I just want to thank you so much for like the heart you have behind your business and all the positivity you spread and your smile that you put out on LinkedIn and sharing all your knowledge and wisdom in your travels with us, because it really does. It re-inspires me. And I love being, surrounded by people that really embrace this purpose. And you've done such a magnificent job of that. And I just have really enjoyed having you on the podcast today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, it's a special mission that we have. I think the more we build purpose in what we're doing through better sleep and really changing the world. If you can change someone's sleep, you change their health, their life, their happiness, their mood, every part of our lives. The foundation is sleep. So I really enjoy what you and the team at the SAM are doing. And I love listening to the podcast as well. So thank you for having me.
Well, it's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. You have an open invitation to come to Sleep Summit. I know you can't make it this year, but would love to have you next year. So put on your calendar. It's going to be the first or second week of October in 2025. Of course, this event is happening October 8th through the 11th. And our theme is Back to the Future of Sleep, which is rewinding to what works, like the things that never change, and then reimagining the future. I feel like, Aimee, with Rise Lifestyle Co., you're going to be able to come back next year and like help us really see the future.
I hope so. It's on my bucket list. So I'm next year I'm on. It's a shame I can't make it this year, but I really definitely want to come along next year.
Well, it'd be a pleasure to have you. People can get connected with you on LinkedIn. Go over and search Aimee Griffiths. It's AIMEE, and then Griffiths, yes, with an S. But Aimee's got some great content. I highly encourage you to follow what she's got going on. And then always connect with us through the fam and myself, Mark Kinsley. Aimee, thanks again for being here. It's a pleasure having you on the podcast. And hopefully we can have you, we want to have you come back in the future to get caught up on all things Rise Lifestyle and your travels and what's happening in your beautiful beachside town.
I'll be there. I'll make the video from the beach. I promise.
Okay. We're going to hold you to it. Awesome. Thanks so much, Aimee.
Thanks for having me.